We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5.
Welcome, everyone.
Yes, episode 34.
34
of the Terrible Reception radio show. I know I fucked up last time.
It's okay. It happens. Welcome. If you're listening to us on 98.5 radio.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time.
Well, it'd be good morning over there. If you're listening. Oh, actually, if you're listening to it from Europe or something, it would be early afternoon.
UK, we have love for you. We know these are very, very, very testing and tough times.
Yes.
So we're here with you.
9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, US time, on the 98.5 app.
Yes. If
you're listening to from Spotify, what's up?
Hope you're following. Quarantine quality radio.
And if you're listening to from Apple Podcasts, welcome.
Yes.
We love you.
Love you so much.
Don't forget to exit out of the app, leave a review, and leave a rating.
Yeah.
Because we love you guys. So there's a little hair over here.
Ooh.
And if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching from YouTube, you just saw me pluck a hair off this microphone.
Pew! You gotta add a sound effect.
Welcome. And if you haven't yet, turn on the little bell notification.
Yes.
So you get a notification every time we drop an episode.
Because who doesn't want to be updated when two dashing young gentlemen,
beautiful young men, scruffy and all,
make it happen
out here, blessing you guys with our presence during this quarantine special.
Oh man, do you want to just jump and delve right into it?
Yeah. Well, before we do that, you may notice or may not notice that we're not wearing headphones.
We're gonna give it a try today.
So we're giving it a try. I think we've done enough episodes where we don't have to use our headphones.
Yeah, we used to use it as proximity distancing, thingamajig just to see where our vocals were. But now we're kind of like,
I think we're good.
Yeah,
hopefully.
What can we like? It's closer to like, I don't know. It's like taking the training wheels off. Yeah.
I was going to go and double back on the flamboyant trapeze artist and say it's kind of like we've been doing this for a while. Fuck the safety net.
Right.
We're going in.
I like our characters. We die. So like what kind of tight suit are you wearing? That's the thing.
My leotard would be hot pink underneath. But then like the lime green, like on top, like Borat.
Oh, so you're very 80s.
Yeah, very 80s.
Mine would be like a metallic blue with a gold stripe that goes right down the middle.
Like that.
And it's like, are you ready?
Hair flowing or not?
Oh, hair definitely flowing.
Okay.
But for some reason...
Would that be a distraction?
For some reason...
Do trapeze artists have long hair?
No, like when I like fall down, it like automatically man buns. So it's like, hold on, I'm coming down.
You're going to say it's going to like helicopter.
Or that's
helicopter you down to safety.
That'd be crazy.
But yeah, welcome guys. Welcome to this quarantine special social distancing episode. We got to make sure we're 6 feet apart at least. Man. We've washed our hands. We've wiped down this table. We've wiped down the mics.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, these are our respective microphones.
Yeah, these are our respective microphones.
Yeah, if we got it, we can't get it twice, right?
No.
So, yeah, I guess let's dive into it. I mean, there's not a lot of topics to talk about today, so I guess this will be a very Corona-heavy episode.
Corona-heavy. We should have brought Coronas to drink.
Oh, that would have been...
Because I hear, like, honestly, that alcohol is killing it can kill the virus as well, because as we know, swallowing, quote unquote, kills the virus. Actually,
now that you mentioned that, I saw a TikTok video the other day of this guy that I think he was in the military, or some branch in the military, and he was saying that if you take some kind of whiskey with cinnamon, and his example was like Fireball,
okay,
and you take a little swig and you like inhale it really quick, like you're drinking from a straw, like literally that's what he was like. He's like, you inhale it really quick,
okay,
and swallow it immediately, and apparently it goes into your lungs in a specific way where it like it kind of coats your lungs in some manner, and it kills bacteria or some shit.
I could see that.
So
it's like I had such a like a weird week of doing things that could contribute to me second guessing whether I have coronavirus or not, right? So like, let me explain it. So like, you know, I have to be honest with our listeners and anybody else that kind of went through with us. Like, you know, we did the whole keto thing. I fell off. I know Jay is still strict keto.
Not strict at all.
You're not too strict? Okay.
But more low carb, I would say.
Yeah. I've been sticking low carb, but I have been, you know, doing things that I used to eat, just not in massive quantities like we used to.
More portion, yeah.
So in that sense, like coming out of keto, one thing I do notice is that what is that thing in your throat that helps you digest? The thing that unfortunately Feldy had to get removed.
Thyroid.
All right, so your thyroid, right? So like when your thyroid works after eating like, I don't know, a heavy carb induced meal, you feel your thyroid working. And I noticed like being off keto, like my throat gets dry. So I'm like, okay.
When you finish eating or while you're eating?
Like, I guess like a day after, like I feel the dryness in my throat. I feel like a difference. Like I can feel that part of my throat. I don't know how to explain it. Like my body, you know how like it doesn't like sustain that moisture. I don't know how to explain it, but I know that it's working, right? So between that, getting my nose pierced, and what was the other thing? I had started smoking again. And it was joints, but they're like CBD rolled joints because it's a new like.
You're looking like the hookah thotty on Instagram.
Yeah. No, I know you put that. I was like, I am being a hookah thotty. I don't know. It's for some reason I was just like, the guy had like really.
Just don't lip sync, please. Promise me that.
Oh, I'm not gonna start lip syncing
to any pop smoke.
I'll put the tracks behind me, but I won't sing with them because it's almost like I'm entering that lane of musicals, which I hate. So I'll never do that. Right? So between those three things, I was like, why did I choose this week, not knowing the Rona was on the way? So like I was like, okay, my throat is dry. When I do cough, I'm like, you know, I may be like wheezing a little bit because my body's getting back. Yeah. So like,
I thought you were gonna say that getting back to smoking has eased your anxiety from everything that's going on.
It has, but at the same time, like there was like 2 days after, like all this shit was going on, where I was like, fuck, man, like, do I have this?
Your throat is dry as fuck.
My throat is dry as fuck. Like I'm like because of like the smoking the day before. And then that's another thing, when we hit the studio with LX, like his track pushed me in a sense to like really sing. And remember when I was like, yo, I need water, I need water. Yeah. Like I literally, like the next day I felt my vocal cord tenderness. So I'm like, shit, I probably have the Rona. So like between all those things like happening all at the same time, I was, even though I smoked all that CBD from, you know, the green room in Montclair, I was like, man, I was like, anxiety came right back.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I had a little scare a few days ago. I think on Monday, no, Sunday night.
Okay.
So I had one of the parents of the kids that I mentor. She texted me. She was like, I've come down with something. I don't know what it is, but I'm self-quarantining myself. I work in the medical field, so I just want to be safe.
Was that text that you put up on social media?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Funny thing is that I don't typically see her when I see him. Okay. Because he's either with his stepdad or his grandfather. Yeah. So usually when I see him, I coordinate with her, but I never see her. But I've seen her recently, and I'm like, oh shit, I saw this lady a couple days ago. I'm fucking dead. So I'm like freaking out for a couple of days, and I was like, fuck it, let me think about this. I'll take a couple steps back. Let me look at it from like a fresh perspective. And I was like, okay, when was the last time I saw her? And I was like, it definitely wasn't last time that I thought I saw her. And I was like, oh my God, thank God, this was 2 weeks ago. Damn. So, and another thing with that is that I saw her like real quick. I was like in and out, basically.
See, how you feel about the coronavirus is how I've always felt about like my single life and like my sexual hookups. That's what's going on through my mind with everybody that I've hooked up with. I'm like, yo, yo, who was I with, like, blah blah blah, do they have this? Because now they out here like, oh, like, I'm coughing. Or it's like seeing like a person you just hooked up with, and like they're like smiling shit, and like, what's that red bump on their lip, and you're like, damn, like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is kind of like who you've been exposed to type of thing. If that person comes down with it, they're gonna blame you, you're gonna blame them. It's like horrible. It's never gonna know who's who. But one thing that I've been thinking about lately is as independent artists and as small business owners, financially, we are in a limbo, in a really tough place, because, you know, with all this quarantining and, you know, no large gatherings and stuff like that.
I see it in town, like literally, again, when I speak of the Green Room, the CBD place, or the tea company they just opened up. These are like fresh young businesses, young owners, and literally they've had to close down.
It's so bad. That's like terrible timing. But I wanted to touch upon several topics around that. One being that if you want to support a small business, right, being that we had to push our weddings out of the way, and kind of just like holding our breaths to hopefully this gets resolved as soon as possible.
We've had a lot of couples push back dates and stuff like that. I'm talking about even months from now. Like, they were set for late May. They've pushed back to August. Like, a lot of people are preparing for not only like a month, 2 weeks from now, they're preparing for like 6 months from now.
Yeah. So just some advice for people that actually support like small businesses, basically, like, I guess food places. They're the only places that are really open at the moment. Or if somebody has like a boutique and they have like an online store, instead of buying from like a Target or like I don't know, like a McDonald's or a Wendy's, go to your local business and, you know, purchase from them. Give them an extra tip if you can, you know, just to support them, because they're going to be the ones that are suffering. Wendy's, McDonald's, all those people are going to be completely fine. Just because of the revenue that they make. And on top of that, I'm sure government assistance is going to help them somehow, some way. But the small businesses are the ones that are going to like fucking perish.
Yeah, I felt like, to me, it's a juxtaposition, because, you know, I thought about us, and especially like today, thank you to all, like, you know, I even put a text out there. I had to put my pride to the side. Like, you know, as I feel like, it's funny enough, like, I feel like right now I'm ending up how I just started. And you realize how important the world of entertainment is, whether it's basketball, touring for other artists. It's like, we really do make the world go round, just people in general. And
it's a distraction from the real life.
Yeah, you know? And it's kind of like, there's two sides to it. When all the glamour and glitz goes away, you're like, what's really important? But that also, at the same time, the glitz and the glamour adds so much fantasy and so much life and hope to our lives, because we always feel that there's more. So getting back to my point, it's just like, literally, if you're a photographer, videographer, model, a lot of these things come to a standstill, and you don't see things like this coming all the time. So I know when I first started, I dropped my 9 to 5. It was hard. Like, you know, trying to book yourself is such a scary, I wouldn't even say scary. It's a very like demanding and stressful place. When you always have to book yourself, or you have to depend on the client to connect, to make sure you get paid and everything goes through, you realize how important everybody is to each other. You know what I'm saying? How much the product is important to the person that's trying to start their own business, and this, that, and the third. We're all connected in that sense. So I see myself now where, you know, even though I was able to pay certain bills this month, like, I go from month to month, like, each little session that books through us or whatever, that really helps the business, the revenue, that keeps food in people's mouths, that keeps, you know, projects on people's again, small businesses to promote themselves. So times like this really do make us reflect on how important our communities are. And that's something that, I sincerely feel blessed and appreciative of anybody that sent money this way. I got more than I expected from some people. Some people sent 15, some people sent 10, some people sent 25. And that's even enough to buy water, where I hit you up the other day. It was like, damn, there's no water in Whole Foods. There's no water at ShopRite. And you came across a 3-pack at Fairway, I believe.
Fairway, yeah.
Yeah. So things like that are just so important.
So, with things like that, it's like, I don't want to make a joke of it, but if anybody needs any edits, we got you, fam.
Oh, man. We still here.
Yo, get the lighting set up in your living room, right? If you want to create content, if you have an iPhone, set up a lighting, send the edits our way, and we got you for the quarantine low.
Hey, look at that, man. This is live and direct, and I think you're going to appreciate it next time you listen in. Earl, yo, a brother of Buddha's is a brother of mine. He sent me $20. Thank you, brother. Want to thank you. For real. Again, everybody that's showing love is just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
We've gotten into a position where you have to prepare, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's going to happen in the next 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 weeks. So I've gotten to a point where I want to prepare before shit really hits the fan. That's why gradually we've been buying little things, put them in freezers. God forbid we ever have to dip into, that stock.
I thought you were going to say nacho cheese.
Could make nacho cheese. I got a block of cheddar cheese at home.
Just in case we really had to dip into some nachos.
You never know, man.
What are some things that you recommend buying that, or that you feel are time?
Yo, one thing that we've stumbled across a gold mine, basically, right?
Okay.
So veggies, they rot quickly, right?
Yes.
So do fruits.
Yes.
Fruits, easy. Bag them up, Ziploc bags, throw them in the freezer, and they'll last you a long ass time.
Yeah.
So,
who doesn't like a frozen peach?
Exactly. So, for anybody that's does the shakes in the mornings, kind of like we do, frozen, we can last with these frozen fruits for weeks.
Yeah.
Depending on how much you have. Granted, there's a lot of places that are sold out of these frozen fruits, but if you stumble across it, bag them up, throw them in the freezer.
Yeah, I think you're really, I remember, I don't know, this might have been something, how kids had Pogs or stuff like that back in the day, and you came across those rare ones. I feel like frozen vegetables are like that now. If you come across a bag of frozen vegetables,
listen, I'm going that way.
Okay.
So this was my gold mine, right? So we were thinking ahead, right? We were like, yo, what can we do to have a stash of vegetables that won't, what would you call those? Perish.
Yeah, perish. Yeah.
Right. So we have 5 bags of riced cauliflower.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we bought maybe 3, 4 cauliflowers.
Okay.
Diced them up with a food processor, put them in Ziploc bags, threw them in the freezer. Now they're good to go as the emergency stash.
Nice.
So I was like, yo, let's keep on getting more cauliflowers.
I've been buying I think it's funny where people pass up on the things that I feel are more important. I posted about it last night. I was like, yo, I saw all this fresh greenery, kale, collards, Swiss chard. And I was like, yo, there's so many vitamins and minerals in this that you need to protect your body from any virus that's going around, or just keep your body at a thing. I'm like, you buying some Capri Sun when you could be buying some kale.
I think obviously a lot of people are in panic mode, and I think they go for things that they can cook quantity of.
Yeah.
So obviously the rice, the pastas, to feed a good amount of people with the least amount of money spent. So I think that's one thing. Another thing is just that you can't keep these fruits and veggies I guess, preserved for a very long period of time, unless you do something along those lines where you're like freezing rice cauliflower.
Like,
Can
I
you
see
freeze
Europe,
an actual
like,
cauliflower?
yeah, like Europe seems to have a lot of stock versus us. Like, I mean, like on like a lot of the shelves.
That's never an issue. I mean, that's always the issue.
I know. Overbuy.
They'll charge you
Overindulge.
$15 for a salad, but give you a burger for $1.
That's another thing too. Like, I think I saw a post recently saying that, you know, sometimes we are the virus. Sometimes we're the virus to Mother Earth. Where
I was going to talk about that too.
Yeah. Like, there's like pollutants that have come down since less cars are on
I was
the road.
reading about that. I was reading about how like certain creeks and like bodies of water are a lot cleaner. The air is less polluted.
Yeah. Animals have moved back.
The streets are not as dirty because people are like in quarantine. It's so crazy.
Yeah. I think, like, you know, like, as much as I am a conspiracy theorist at heart with certain things, I always love to see both sides of the coin and stuff like that. I'm also very disappointed on people's responsibility right now. People's responsibility to spread the truth about the situation. I don't think a lot of us know what's going on, and I'll be the first one to admit it. Like, for the first time, like, I could point fingers or give you 5 different directions of why this is happening, but I don't even think I know myself the true cause of it. Again, like, I've gone between the reality of what I'm seeing in the streets and also, like, you know, what I could believe conspiracy theory wise, from Bill Gates, the government, the war with China, chemical warfare, such all that and the third. But right now, the best thing that we could do is, you know, again, small community wise, Essex County, you know, Passaic, all that stuff. Like, we can look out for each other, make sure that we hold each other down, and then from there, you know, I feel like the unification, I always say it's harder to break a bundle of bamboo sticks than one. So the more that we have unity and the less we give in to the anxiety, the stress, the fear, the more that we have literally a fighting chance. You know, I think it's state of mind over state of emergency.
Can you explain that?
It's just something that I like, to me, like, I felt like I came up with. I didn't post about it. I was just like a little tag that I was thinking about putting out there. Because, like, state of mind, this might be a different type of war that we don't know about. You know, maybe the government media is not being 100% with us and they don't know how to go about this. So they're telling us to go about it this way, right? Because a lot of things revolve around money and this, that, and the third. So for me, if you can literally be in control of yourself and your family, be best prepared, you know, for worst case scenarios. Again, like, you know, a lot of our grandparents, if you have some at home that are still around, you know, pick their brain of how maybe they got through the war, whether they were on the European side or the American side. You always have to know, like, you know, this is pretty bad, but people have gone through far worse, where they literally have to fight for their lives every day. So, you know, right now we still have a lot of supermarkets that are open. You're still allowed to travel between a certain time period. But again, just keep your mind clean. Don't get too caught up, again, in the fear, stress of things. And then I think, just like our quote, because the truth navigates, you'll have a better understanding of where to go from here, financially, everything else. And just, you know, take care of your parents. They're the ones more vulnerable to the disease if it does, you know, start spreading more on a mass level. So
yeah, I feel there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, right? And I've read a couple, and I obviously like kind of glaze over them because it's like some people, and I'm not saying you, but some people sit in their rooms, whatever, digging deep into trying to figure out why, but they get so caught up on trying to figure out why this is happening rather than dealing with the situation. So it's like your house is on fire and you're in the middle of the fire and you're just like, oh my God, why did this happen? Rather than getting out, trying to put the fire out, and then after the fact, do whatever you want with it. You know what I mean? Figure out why something's going on. And, sometimes it rubs me the wrong way, but it's like, that's why I kind of just like stay off of social media sometimes, because it gets on my nerves to the point where I just like feel like this fire right in here. And once I start feeling that fire right in here from the nuisance and the annoyance of people that are on social media saying all these kinds of stupid things, I kind of just like, you know what? Let me do this with my phone. Let me put a movie on. Let me work on something, or just distract myself basically from it, because it's like just so stupid.
It's the first time I really felt agitated, where I was like, I don't know what to believe. Because I do have like my conspiracy theorist friends. I have my people that just take things for what it is, and like to see both worlds petrified. And I say petrified because that's the type of fear that you just kind of either like stay stuck or whatever. And it like, it's almost like I said, it's like a mindset. So, to see schools close, to see national leagues shut down, major artists, record labels, because we live in a world that's money driven, and all that has stopped. So again, I don't know what agenda or what's going on or what's at hand, if it's strictly just a virus or this or that. Because again, we live in a new age. It's not like people literally have to kill each other with guns or nukes anymore. It could be chemical warfare. It's 2020. We live in the future. So we live in the present as well. So it's one of those things, just, be careful. Be careful of everything. Take everything with a grain of salt. Look into it. Be precautious. Be safe. Be healthy. Be happy. If this was like the end of days, in the sense like you never know where something's going, again, there has been the Holocaust. There has been the Black Plague, things like that. I don't say to say it in fear, but live your life. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You don't know what's promised. So I guess like we have the luxury of living out our dreams by doing this, by like making music. Jay and I, like, again, amongst all the craziness, we were putting a track together, still following our hearts, our dreams,
Yeah, we could have easily quarantined ourselves, but we don't feel happy not doing something, you know what I mean? Because I feel like we provide some kind of relief to other people. It's like, I listen to certain podcasts and they're like, yeah, we are your outlet while basketball's not going on, or while soccer's not going on, or while your concert's canceled and stuff like that. So I think obviously we're not like emergency services or whatever, but we feel it's our duty to continue providing some source of entertainment for people that have been following us for such a long time. That I make it an effort to try to come out here at least 2 out of the few days that we meet up every week, to at least work on this and then work on the song that we were trying to put together. So and I kind of take pride in that. So thank you guys for listening.
You guys.
We love you guys.
Yeah, because without you guys, it's not fun.
Right. And we appreciate the feedback too, because I'm on the social media platforms and I see, the numbers spiking here and there. Obviously, depending on who's the guest and how far they promote and stuff like that, or if it's just you and I. But people are listening. Might not be a huge number of people, but people are listening, and we definitely appreciate that. And we need your feedback, and we would love to hear from you guys of the good and the bad on the show, because that's the only way we're going to get better, if we get some kind of feedback. You know what I mean?
I think it's like the same thing. A story doesn't hold value if you can't share it with somebody. Same thing with love or anything else. Like, if you're not able to share this in-depth feeling, this vibe, or like, again, if you have the chance to buy the coolest present in the world but have nobody to give it to. You know, like that's a big part of it. Jay and I discuss a lot of the times there is no feeling that is equal or can amount to being on a stage and performing for people that took time to learn your lyrics and really just shout out your name and like send that energy that you gave out in the record right back to you. And that exchange is that that bond that we look for just as humans, like humanity itself. Like to know that you're not alone is like the illest feeling in the world. And then when you realize everything's connected, I think like moments like this, like the coronavirus, shows us we are connected. Empathy is needed. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, Kobe had to go. We saw love and empathy. Coronavirus, our own personal situations where we lost loved ones. It's like to realize we're still human in a world where technology kind of takes over. It burdens us. Like we're on that verge. I think I listened to it on the Joe Rogan podcast where he's like, this is step one of us becoming literally cyborgs. It's not connected to us, but it's in our pockets. It's always here.
Might as well be connected to us.
You know what I'm saying? It's a source of information that comes, we can look up anything and then tell somebody else and pass that message on. So
our lives run through these things.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
So let's make sure this shit don't shut off on us. Another thing I wanted to talk about is as independent artists and small business owners, I wanted to emphasize the importance of financial security, in the sense that I could have done a better job at preparing for emergency purposes, but thankfully I was able to kind of pay off certain debts and have an emergency stash with Amy, where it's like if shit shuts down for a few weeks, I'll be okay as far as keeping up with certain bills. You know, again, wish I could have started this a little earlier, but you know, thankfully I did when I did it, or we did when we did it, because you know, it's just a little emergency stash fund. You know, we don't have any medical insurance.
Nobody ever really wants to prepare for something of the worst.
Right.
That's not where your mind state is usually.
Exactly. So basically I say that to say, you know, hopefully this is a learning experience for everyone. You know what I mean? Because I don't know where everybody is financially, but the people that have an emergency fund, I'm sure, are a lot more relaxed in the sense that they're not freaking out yet. And that's kind of what I tell everybody. It's just like, you know, just roll with the punches. Don't panic, because once you panic, you can't think rationally. It's kind of like, you know, if you're with somebody that has extreme anxiety, if you're both freaking the fuck out, how are you guys gonna get out of a calm situation, a crazy situation? You know what I mean?
Fear. The crazy part about fear is that with fear you have no control, but then somebody else has the vantage point of control. So you have to see this situation like a business deal, right? Because that's the same thing that goes on in business. If you have any type of leverage above the person you're doing business with, that's all it is. It's like a game. Because it's like, if Jay and I are in the gym, our business deal is like, okay, if you push 180 to 200 pounds and bench press or whatever the case is, and we can, and I
should be a football player.
That's what I'm saying. and then I can go above that, and we have like, you know, $200 on the line. Can you do it? And that's the way you always got to think about it. So you know, this is a big life lesson. And you know, this is something that I think needed to slap us on the face, wake us up like a big tub of water.
That's why I made a joke of it last week. I tweeted that the doomsday preppers are laughing at everybody right now. It's like, if shit goes down, they'll be like in their little bunkers eating their canned beans that they bought like 20 years ago.
And never
and
like
laughing at everybody.
That's another thing too. You know, sometimes we laugh because we don't understand. And I think this will have a better empathetical point of view with how other countries live day by day. You know, this is almost a reality for some other people in the world. You know, it's really, again, how you go about it. It's how you survive it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important.
Yeah, man. So, you know, just keeping calm in crazy situations, I think would be helpful. Obviously, very helpful. A couple people asked me like certain ways of how they can save money without breaking their pockets, obviously. And the way, kind of just to explain it real quick, the way I do it is I use this app called Capital. That's Qapital. And you can set certain rules where I just even found out that I don't even need to use that. I can just go straight to Chase, and Chase has these certain rules that you can set on your account, where the one I have set for me is I save $1 a day. It automatically withdraws and puts it in my savings. Amy has we have a joint emergency fund where 10% of her check goes straight to that, and then I have the $1 a day. And then in my Capital app, I have, every time I use my debit card, it deposits the difference.
It rounds it to the nearest dollar.
To the nearest dollar. I have it to the nearest $2. So it'll deposit $1 and whatever the change is. So it's like money that you don't miss, but you're glad when you see that big amount. So what I've been doing is I've been waiting to get to like a huge amount, and then I withdraw everything, put it in my account, and use that to pay off my credit cards. So I'm visual. As far as, you know, I like seeing a whole lump sum. Like for my birthday, I saved up about $3,500 and I threw it straight into my account. And it's good to see that number coming down because it motivates you. It's kind of like when we were on keto, the motivating thing for me was, that weigh-in every week and seeing how much weight I lost that particular week.
No,
or if
true.
I didn't, I would go even harder the following week. So once you start seeing these things, it'll keep on motivating you to want to do it to the point where you kind of get obsessed with it. So, you know, those are the two little things that I do. And then if I have like any kind of cash, like another thing you could do is like take out $20 cash at the beginning of the week and try not to use it. And if you don't use it by the end of the week, deposit that into like an envelope of some kind.
I think it's as good to hold, like sometimes like even a safe within your house. Have actual, you know, physical. I won't even say just cash. What's another word?
Monies.
Physical value. You know, whether it's your gold, whether it's your jewelry, whatever the case may be. You know, something that you can trade. I think that's always really important too, because if you have to depend on another service to acquire what's yours, that can add to complications too, because we see a lot of things shut down. You know, there's no physical people at the banks and this and that. And if you want to do transfer, actually get physical cash, if you have to rely on a computer like an ATM, you know what I'm saying?
Are banks actually closed?
Yep. I got word from a couple business owners that the only thing that's open is the drive-through. They don't actually have people physically working there at the moment. You might have some people.
They might have the people at the other end where you put the little tube thing in and it shoots up.
Unfortunately, like I had to be on customer assistance. I was on the line with my bank and all that, and like literally it was a 45 to 50 minute wait. So all the luxuries that we're used to with, I mean, sometimes you still gotta wait with customer service, but some things, you know, they're not as at disposal as they were 2 days ago.
Yeah. So, is there any other topics outside of this?
I mean, I feel like, I mean, there's definitely tons of things we could talk about. I would say what I was kind of going to as well, it's like, you know, we point fingers, we laugh at some things, and just because we don't understand it or whatever, whether it is weight loss, it could be a diet, it could be somebody's lifestyle, you know. Some people just feel, we live in a country where everybody praises the millionaire, but, you know, who right now do we depend on? It's the people that are able to make the deliveries for us. It's not the millionaire. It's the person that decides to keep their business open, so we could get a slice of pizza, we could get our coffee in the morning still. Those are the heroes right now. So, you know, never put down somebody because you don't have an understanding for them. I think I had another conversation, I don't know with who, but I was saying, you know, we have a very weird way of understanding intelligence. There might be a guy that never graduated high school, but he knows how to fix your engine and you don't. So like, who are you to say how smart he is when you don't know what he does? So,
you know, it's funny that you say that, because I used to work for Cablevision a few years back. And I remember I used to work in certain areas where people would look down on you for being the cable tech guy.
Boom.
But
They
when
called
the
on
internet goes down, who's the first person they call? The cable guy.
The cable guy.
Yeah, man. You ain't gonna climb on that pole, are you?
No, I thought they were gonna call Ghostbusters.
No. I mean, you could call the Ghostbusters, but they're not gonna be very helpful for you. But what is that doing? It's recording over the last one.
Yeah, or something like that.
Oh, okay. So,
I guess we had a pause.
Yeah,
in the last one.
I guess in positive news, we're working on a new song.
Oh yes,
2 new
we
songs
are.
actually simultaneously.
Oh my god! 3 new songs.
3 new songs. Shout out to Cinco Sound.
Shout out to the LX.
Shout out to the LX. To super producers. You know, we've been working on those songs the last few weeks, and we're hoping to put together like a little solid EP for you guys, which we had no plans on doing. It kind of just came to fruition, and we're glad it did, because we're loving what we're putting together, and we're excited to push it to you guys.
I've been really like proud of, again, the quality, I don't know, I would say like the uniformity of our sound, but how like each track is still different. If that, like, I feel like we're even honing in on that a little bit more.
I feel like we found our sound is basically the thing, because for years we've been dabbling into different kinds of sounds, different kinds of genres, and we've always been confused as to when somebody asks us, hey, what's the genre of music that we do? I don't fucking know. So now we've come down to the term, using the term alternative hip-hop R&B, which is the perfect explanation of the type of music that we've been doing lately.
We just make a vibe that we feel is essential.
Right. And I think as songwriters, we've gotten to a level where we've found a good pocket where the music sounds commercial, but isn't dumbed down to the point where we feel like we're selling out.
It's still not bubblegum status.
Right. So it's like pop-ish. You could dance to it. You could get deep with it if you want. If you just want to listen for the beat, if you just want to listen for the melodies, you can do that. If you want to listen to the lyrics, you can digest the lyrics either easily for face value or at face value, or find the deeper meaning of what we're really trying to say. So I think that's the best thing that we've done in the last year or two, maybe. Just the way we sit down and kind of structure a song and structure the melodies and put these pieces of work together.
Yeah, because I feel like, honestly, we were having like little discussions in the studio of what made us excited for certain tracks when we listened to our favorite artists in the past. And I knew, like, if I saw something produced by Timbaland or produced by the Neptunes, you know, or Kanye West, like on another artist track that I love, like I was always like already hyped because it was already like that sales point of like, wow, like I can't wait to see what they did this time. And I think like
you see a name and a lot of the producers back in the day, you see the name and you know the sound that's going to come out of that particular track.
But then like, but they still hit you left. Like,
you get excited to hear your favorite artist like linking with Swiss Beats, and it's like, you know what you're going to get from Swiss Beats, and see how he came together with this particular artist to bring, you know, that sound together.
You see like Busta and Khalees, it's like, Busta, what it is right now.
It's like you can hear like everybody's sounds mixing together.
Yeah.
So it's really dope too. And I love how certain artists bring certain sounds out of a producer and kind of gets them to step out of their comfort zone. I think Swizz did that for a little bit. Who else is a good example? Timbaland is Timbaland. Pharrell, I guess, has his own sound, so people go to that. I guess the best example would be Swizz, because Swizz started with like the hardcore Rough Rider sound and then kind of just branched out. We always got
Just Blaze too. Just Blaze did his thing.
Just Blaze.
Kanye is a producer, like we mentioned. There's a lot of greats out there. Mike Dean kind of gave Travis, well, I want to say he gave them, because Travis Scott dedicated a lot of the sound that we know to be the Kanye Mike Dean type of flavor, but they just like perfected it. Like Mike Dean is also like a grand producer that kind of like does what like Rick Rubin does for the hip hop game. Mike Dean is his own beast, but like when he does collab, you know, with artists like Travis Scott, Kanye West, that everybody has their own flavor, it kind of becomes this known tonality in the music where you're like, okay, that's the 808. Or not 808, I'm talking about like Yeezus style. And then like the Travis Scott ad-libs that coming out of nowhere. or like Kid Cudi, how like he comes in and you're just like, yo, he was there for 5 seconds, but he was dope. And then like after he did the bridge, like Frank Ocean did this random ass outro, and then like Beyonce's just talking at the end, but like it just makes it fire. Like
one of the things that I really like doing is when you hear a song and it's like, oh, that sounds like that particular producer, and then you look up the credits and it is that particular producer.
Yo, you're just like,
it's like a dope feeling in the world.
Yeah, like you could be like blindfolded, but you still know the different, like the difference between Coke and Pepsi. You know,
it's like, yeah, bitch, I got it. So, what are who are some artists that you're listening to right now? I'm gonna dive into my Spotify, see what I got going.
I'm listening to a Canadian group that is like in between us and Majid Jordan. They're called Always Never. There's 2 tracks I'm hooked on to. One made me tear a couple times, especially when Feldy passed. It's called Wildin'. And then the other one is called All You Need. It's such a sexy vibe.
Say the name again.
The group is Always Never. The first song I listened to by them is Wildin'. It's WYLDN. And then the other song is
WYLIN'.
Yeah. And then the other one is All You Need by the same group, Always Never.
All You Need. I guess this would be a good time to plug our Spotify playlist.
Oh, rock out.
If you go to our account, we do have our individual Spotify playlists. So if you're interested in like listening to what we're listening to, my playlist is called Jay's Jiggy Jams.
And then we got Parlay's Poppin' playlist.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I listened to your playlist the other day, and it's funny how we have very similar tastes in music, at least right at this moment. But it's interesting hearing what artists you're listening to and what songs you're listening to from that particular artist. Because like we'll listen to the, you know, Majid Jordans or St. John's.
I've been listening to over and over and over like this track. Amazing. It's by Genevieve and it's called Medallion. Such a dope concept. I was actually looking up what she was writing about, and she said a medallion is usually the closest thing to your heart. And her problem is that she had to move away far from her friends and family, so she kind of like wanted to keep them close to her, so she kind of like, I don't know, she was referring to her friends and family as a medallion. And like the song is
close to her heart, I guess.
Yeah, it's super dope. I like the artist Don Toliver too. He's under Travis Scott, and he's just got like a very distinct sound. I'm not that thrilled with his project, but I have been very happy with like his single releases. And the new Jay Electronica, between the production and the way it was pieced together, people saying it's a Jay-Z mixtape, quote unquote. I think Joe Budden said it. But for me, art is art. I mean, Jay Electronica could be on it for like 5 seconds and everybody else is taking over. But like as a body of work, I think it's super, super fresh, especially Flux Capacitor and Blinding. It's the one Swiss Beats produced. Like the way it switches up and stuff. Oh my God. Like I can only imagine what that sounds like live.
Word. I've been listening to this artist. I don't know if his name is IX Wolf or is it Nine Wolf.
Interesting. I think you mentioned it. Yeah, you mentioned this guy.
So it's IXWULF. I don't know if that's a Roman numeral, right? IX is a 9, right?
Let me double check.
Pretty sure, because I think X is a 10.
I think so. Yeah, X is 10. So
if you put the 1 before it, it'll be a 9. So I don't know if I'm overthinking that or if it's just IX Wolf. I'll look into it, but he has a really dope vibe, very similar to the guys you mentioned earlier. What are their names? The Canadian guys.
Always Never.
Always Never.
Yeah, so it's 9.
Yeah,
IX is 9.
So very similar vibes where it's like, I would call it traps. I don't want to call it trap soul because it has its own lane, I think. So if you're looking into something like very moody, something that you could listen to, you know, while you're smoking or just chilling, editing photos, I've been listening to him quite a bit. His project is really dope. It's called hold on, almost played it. It is called Motel Paradise. He released it in 2018. It's a pretty dope project. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 songs.
Wow.
One interlude in between there somewhere. I don't know if it's an actual song, but the project is really dope. I haven't listened to it in its entirety because I've got stuck on 2 to 3 songs that I put on my playlist.
You got stuck on Beretta Lake featuring St. John.
That's another guy that I have on my list. Beretta Lake.
That was a dope put on.
By Teflon Sega featuring St. John.
Super fire.
And we've both voiced our love for St. John in previous episodes. And it was interesting seeing him as a featured artist.
I think we have like a very soft spot. I don't know. Maybe because we are 80s babies, but for like this like stadium mood, 80s music.
Yeah. I think that's making a comeback. And I love that we're going down that route with the next few songs that we're working on because it's a vibe. And it's kind of like styles, how they mimic the 90s sometimes, the 80s, depending on what era we're looking at.
Stylistic too. Like I just feel like in fashion, I've been obsessed. Like I got my like last Christmas, I was doing like Christmas shopping. Remember, like I got you the jean jacket that didn't fit you, and then I got
now it definitely doesn't fit.
Yeah,
me.
right.
That thing's like a fucking.
But then that's why I try to make it up because like Jay admired the color and the jean jacket I had, and I was like, yo, you know, that's the only way I could make it up to him because like it's a very hard, you know, color to find. But what I was getting to is that on another artist tip, not that you. It's not a music artist, but like I came across this jewelry designer. His name is Emanuele Bicconi, I think. He's Italian.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. And like
it's gotta be Italian with that
if
name.
you guys could see the earring I had, like this little bracelet, like for me, he inspires me like hella crazy because his jewelry is like mad clean, but then there's also this like Renaissance Gothic style to it. That I kind of realized like why he's so popping to me is that like he grew up in Florence, Italy. So like all that like Renaissance art around him like really attributed to his style. And I was just like, I don't know why I gravitated towards it, but I guess it's like that whole European vibe, like that whole YSL movement where like, I don't know, it's like a cool clash of those things. And I felt like, you know, outside like artistry, like music wise, I felt like this guy has like a really cool style. I saw like Zayn wear some of his shit.
He fucking would. Beautiful man.
And who else? I don't know, some other artists that I admire from a fashion standpoint.
Does he have an Instagram page?
Yeah.
Send it my way.
I definitely will. Like, I'm very
continue going
obsessed
down my
with this
list. I listened to this one song called "Slowly" by this guy named Odie. I don't know if it's Odie or Adi. It's Odie. It's a really dope song.
Okay.
I haven't listened to anything else because I'm like super obsessed with, like, when I hear a good song, I play that shit out until I'm tired of it.
Yeah, like I have like a bad I guess like same thing. Like it's like food. Like if I'm stuck on something, I will go back to that restaurant. Shout out to Raymond's. Jay knows. Like I go back just to, like, you know, get the same plate all the time.
Yo, if I got a quarter for every time you recommended Raymond's to somebody that asked for food, I would have at least $20.
That's what I'm saying. like if they had stock, and I always say this too, like I think it's funny because like the whole romanticism around Raymond's is that for me it's like American food meets French food. Like it's comfort food. It's like it's never really like, I mean, there's been a couple of misses, I can't even lie, but for the most part, it's like part of Montclair. It kind of makes Church Street what it is.
Yeah.
And like I told all the employees, including the manager, John, that I know, I was like, yo, I've never seen Raymond. I never want to see his face because it would ruin my whole experience. Like I told everybody, like he's the Willy Wonka of comfort food. And I can't, like, I never want to see this guy's face because like if I saw him, I'd be like, nah, I can't even, like, there's no more magic behind it. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. Let me see. I'm still going down my list. Another artist I've been listening to, his name is Ryan Trey.
Ryan
Trey. Trey. And the best way to describe the music that I've listened to from him is very Bryson Tiller-ish, which is interesting because the first song I heard confused the fuck out of me because I was like, yo, this sounds like Bryson Tiller. I look at the...
Oh, yeah. You play me that track, actually.
I look at the artist on the song. It's Ryan Trey featuring Bryson Tiller.
That's dope.
Couldn't tell the difference between the two.
But you still knew there was those pieces.
I knew Bryson Tiller was in there. But he has very similar vibes.
Not that they're new. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. I don't want to play too much because I don't want to get flagged or whatever. But he has a lot of trappy, soul trap. He's more rappy, though.
I was going to say, if you like this whole 80s vibe, they're not new, but I've been revisiting them because they have a lot of dope tracks out again. I mean, their whole catalog is fire, but Crystal Castles, I don't know if you're familiar with Crystal Castles. Or there's Grimes. Grimes is super dope. Like, they're all in that.
I thought you were going to say, what's the name of that group? That weird group that was putting out music a couple years ago. They had like these crazy eccentric videos.
Empire of the Sun.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say that.
No, Empire of the Sun's super dope too. But there's also like an R&B artist that's given me super authentic vibes. And my particular joint that I mess with is All of Your Love by Luke James.
I've seen the name a bunch of times.
I'll play like a little bit in the background, but
let's talk over it.
Hey,
talk
you know, cool vibes all the time.
Yeah, you played this one for me.
Yeah.
Bigger artist I've been listening to lately is obviously that Bad Bunny album, which all the way through it gives you old school reggaeton vibes with his style, which is really dope. Didn't hear one bad song on there except for maybe like the first track. It wasn't bad. It was just my least favorite,
but it wasn't great.
Gashi obviously up there.
Everybody please take a moment because he was checking in with me today, and now that I just saw his text, Jay Saint, he has a video that he put out that I personally feel is iconic. Go to Jay Saint's page, which is, let's put it out there correctly, JayGotNext. Jay Got Next. He's recently come out as a gay artist, and like just his visuals. I told him today, one, they're iconic. Two, they were tastefully done for the sexuality. I think it was actually done by Dallas Logan and Day Howard.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So
shout out to them too.
Yeah. Like, I think it was so well done. And just like such a wall breaking barrier type of visual that is refreshing to see, because not everybody takes it there.
Yeah.
And like, you know, us knowing Jay Saint for so many years, like
close to like 8-9 years.
I'm just like I'm more than happy to see him living his truth, seeing him living happily.
He looks happy.
He looks happy.
Thing, right.
Happy is the key word for today.
Happy. Be happy. Be comfort in your own skin.
Bob Marley said it the best.
Don't worry.
Be happy.
Touch on Gashi real quick. I wanted to say shout out to Gashi because he had to unfortunately cancel his US tour.
St. John had to cancel.
St. John too. I mean, everybody did.
Everybody had
a bunch of comedians I follow had to push their dates back and stuff like that. So fuck you,
because even if you think somebody is quote unquote well off, like you have to think like some people again never prepare for the worst, but they still have to deal with the bills. Like everything is still good. And I think like that's the part that's hardest, because it's like, oh shit, like you know, I gotta pay the lease on my new house, my new truck, or like we just decided to have a child because we think everything was good, or we just made this move. So, you know,
yeah. I mean, the best way I think to support these artists, because I know everybody loves their handful of artists. Best way to do so. We don't get a lot of money from streams. That definitely helps if you're cooped up in the house. Stream that shit for them. Stream that shit for us. We don't get a lot, but the little bit that we do, we reinvest it back into studio time and equipment for the studio to pump out more content for you guys. Another good way is if they have merch or an apparel of some kind, like we do.
Take a stream from me.
We get most of our income from stuff like that, because we have a company that we partnered up with that prints and ships everything out for us. Shout out to them. But you know, once we get to a bigger level, we would love to expand on the apparel and make it more of our own style. But at the moment, you know, it kind of keeps the lights on for us sometimes. We get a little bit of purchases here and there, and we get a good cut from the sales. Yeah. Because we get paid as artists, and we also get paid as the affiliate. Yeah. So we get double. So, you know, instead of like one of these Shopify's or these, what do they call those stores? Those type of stores where you kind of just have to promote whatever. You have like a list. I forget what kind of business is that, but
if you guys want to become, if you want the in on what we use, you can always hit us up to become one of our affiliates, and then you can sell whatever merch you'd like to in your own personal store, your own personal designs. But it's like a club, in the sense that if we do put you on, I think we get like something like, I don't know, it could be like 2% or whatever. But
I think there's a lot more than that too.
It could be a lot more than that, but
because I think, and I could be wrong, but I look at the numbers sometimes. Like say a $20 shirt, for us, we'll get like $12 out of that.
Boom.
And I think out of those $12 as an affiliate, we get maybe $7 of that. So if you guys are interested in making extra income,
that's a whole CD's worth.
Yeah, we'll put you. You know, you could buy, I don't know, a carton of milk.
Somebody like hit me up today. Well, he goes by Afriking on IG. And he was like, yo, I just sent you like 20. I was like, bro, just 20? It's like, I know like people got to work 2 hours for $20 sometimes. And I was like, that's water, that's food, that's keeping the lights going, that's keeping this going.
Oh,
You know,
you replied just 20.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. Okay.
I was like, yo,
No, I thought you were saying just 20.
no,
Why
no,
you give
no,
me 40?
not to me, not to
Okay,
me.
no,
I'm
no.
saying he was like, yeah, I'm sorry, yo, I just sent 20. I was like, bro,
Yeah, I
like,
just want to clarify that.
I was
want you
like-
to sound like you
I was
were
like,
an
sending me
asshole.
20. I said, you know, I bought like 3 water. Like, you got me 3 waters the other day for $3. I got 3 waters for myself in this town because there's nothing else for $7.
Yeah.
So like for somebody to send me $20 on that thing, you know,
Mhm.
again, you're not just putting it in my mouth, you're putting it into my family's mouth,
Mhm.
stuff like that, because a lot of time, you know, people are like the breadwinners of their family and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So like, you know,
Yeah, man. So, yeah, shout out to you guys for helping
Yeah.
out struggling artists. But where was I? Oh, affiliate. If you want to become a Benatton Apparel affiliate, let us know. Slide into the DMs, and we'll see how we can figure that out, where we could put you under our little umbrella. And all you have to do is promote our stuff, and then, you know, you get a cut from the sales. So in that sense, we wouldn't get, I don't think we would get the
well, they
affiliate
can either
for
sell
it.
for us
Or sell
or
their
like
own
again,
stuff.
they can sell their own
Right.
stuff. You know
So
what
that could
I'm
be your in to this particular. I know there's a lot of companies that have started that since, but I think their quality is very, very good, and they have like a good variety of items that you can, you know, screen print, I guess, or print. Period. So they're really dope. I guess, like I said, slide into our DMs. We'll see if we can figure that out for you, and you can make a couple extra bucks here and there by selling. By just, I don't know, if you want to use Facebook marketing, you could do so. But let me see what else. So there's the merch and apparel. That way you can support your artists that are not doing shows at the moment, streaming their music like crazy, visiting their YouTube channels, playing their videos,
sharing their profiles,
sharing their profiles,
letting your community become aware of what people do.
right. So if you have an artist that you love, you know, share it on your timeline. Say, yo, check these artists out, because, you know, people get paid for visits on their pages these days. So
When the hookah thotties share music, or when they're singing along to a song and the vibe is dope, all right, shout out to the hookah thotties. Sometimes I go and I look at that title on the top of the story that says, okay, blase, blase, blah. You know what I'm saying? This is the artist. So I was like, sometimes you come across artists like that. That's I love coming across good music like
can
that.
I be transparent with you right now?
Yeah.
I'm going to get really transparent with you right now, and you guys too. I actually discovered an artist once from a cam show.
That's dope. You're like, yo,
Hold on.
yo, baby, you doing your thing. But who's that?
Is legit how it actually panned out. Hold on.
Yo.
So, as I've mentioned previously in other shows, in other episodes, I dabble into the cam girl life. Not myself, personally. But I was in random rooms. It is just interesting just visiting certain rooms and stuff like that, and what the person is doing. It's like kind of walking through a hotel room and opening random doors. It's really funny. But this one particular artist, I'm trying to find this playlist on my Google Play that I never use anymore. But this girl was basically, you know, doing her thing for doing a little strange for a little change. And I was listening to the song in the background. I'm that loser.
Who doesn't like a little strange for little things?
I'm that loser, instead of saying, "Hey, take your clothes off." Like, yo, what's that song playing in the background? And I'm gonna try to find it. Actually, I know the name of the song. It's called "Different League." He's a British artist, if I'm not mistaken. So he follows that whole Manu Crooks, his name. So I have that on my list. Discovered it while being on in a cam show. Around here. Hey, so imagine that, just like
Man, whole nother level.
so yeah, I say that to say if you fuck with an artist, if you're a cam girl, just playing in your background. No shame.
I could see like Jay like going up to the screen with Shazam, like, yo, What is
I
that?
try. No, I was thinking about that, but I can't
Maybe
do
like
it because I
squishy
watched
sounds.
if I was if it was on my laptop maybe, but there was too many like outside noises, so I don't think Shazam would pick it up. Even though Shazam's kind of pretty good at that thing, like all you have to do is listen to a split second and it finds it real quick.
It's crazy.
But okay, so down the list, share their profiles, stream their music like crazy. If you want to put that thing on loop while you fall asleep, that works. I did the math, and I think you could play a song on average of 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes, about 300 times or something like that. Forget what it was. But stream their music, stream their videos. The ones that are affiliated with the YouTubes will get some kind of revenue from it. What else? Since you can't go to their shows, other type of artists, go on Netflix, play the movies that, or the shows. Actually, there was a show called Friends from College that got canceled because it wasn't getting enough views, and I'm really pissed off about that. So everybody go stream Friends from College because I want to see another season. It got canceled after season 2.
Jay's request.
So please, where's the petition? I need to sign it. To support the directors on there, the independent directors.
I'll put you on the spot.
Go.
Take the word petition and use it in a rhyme right now.
Petition?
Yeah. 10, 9, 8.
Friends from College. I need to sign that petition. I want to see season 3, I think. What is the name of your clinician? Because I'm going crazy with this quarantine. Give me some Ovaltine because I want some chocolate.
Get it popping.
I lost the first word. What was it?
Petition.
So there you go. It's my little petition freestyle.
I'm going to do that once in a while. I'm going to just take a word that stands out and be like, rhyme that shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's my spiel on how to support your artist during a quarantine.
My spiel in the quarantine.
What are the artists? If you have discretionary income, support your visual artists, your graphic artists as well. If they're posting some kind of artwork, purchase something.
There's so many subcategories of artists. And I think that, again, crayons are expensive though.
Yeah. Yo, they really are. Actually, I went on Amazon for my nephew and I bought 24 packs of crayons for like $10 or $15, something like that for Christmas.
Remember when like certain people had certain colors, like when Crayola came out with like the crazy box that they had like,
You had like,
I don't know,
7 different shades of blue. It's like, I don't need this many blues.
They were
bro.
like, oh, this is peach skin. And you're like, what the fuck?
This kind of racist.
It's kind of racist.
Isn't that racist that the nude is like a white colored nude?
It is. Nude. Yeah.
What if a black person's nude?
I don't know. I would want to see a little Lupita going on. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't mind seeing Lupita in the camp show.
I wouldn't mind opening that box of crayons.
Hey yo.
We can get a couple things drawn. You know what I'm saying?
Cutest box of crayons I've ever did see. Lupita, what's up? Lupita Nyong'o. I'll be Jay Nyong'o. I think we've just about driven this into the ground for this episode, right?
Yeah.
Any shout outs or anything that you want to say before we end this quarantine special?
Again, shout out to the loving friends we got out there. Shout out to the empathy that's circulating. Shout out to the coronavirus in some weird sense of making.
There's a silver lining in this.
There's a silver lining for damn sure.
Wait, real quick. Side note. Now that you brought back the coronavirus, if you were
I brought back the coronavirus.
No, you brought back the topic of the coronavirus.
Okay, watch out now.
You hypothetically, because I know you were talking about vaccines the other day, right?
Oh yeah.
So there's a vaccine not on trial now because they skipped animals, skipped everything, went straight to humans.
Yeah.
You were a 75-year-old diabetic man with lung problems, respiratory problems, and you're about to go out the door. Would you take the chance, take the vaccine where it can save your life, prolong it, or let the corona take you out?
Let the corona take me out. Stay far away. Like, I feel like, okay, people are going to think I'm one of those anti-vaccine people, right? Vaccinations, depending on what it is, there's some vaccinations that are great that they were created. Others ruin people's lives, okay? So this is one of those things that I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. People got to look at vaccines like contracts, okay? Not every contract is made for you. Not every contract is in your best interest. So just take that with a grain of salt. I'm going to leave you with that. If the government comes to find me, you already know where I live because I have an iPhone. But I see some scary things out there about vaccines and chips, and not the types that you dipping in Jay's nachos. You know what I'm saying? Like, bow. But there's things out there. No.
Give you some of my nachos.
No, I'm not touching it with the 10-foot pole.
Okay. I guess you're not the right person to ask this, but leave it in the comments, guys. What would you guys do? And we'll leave it at that.
Once again, it's been episode 34 of the Terrible Reception Podcast on what? Power 98.5
Radio show. Steve is going to yell at you again.
I'm sorry, Steve. I feel like subconsciously I'm here to piss off Steve, and he's here to just hate me. But deep down inside, he loves me.
It's like, episode was great, but stop saying podcast.
Well, it's been an incredible radio show. I'm sorry, we come from deep-rooted rootedness.
Yeah. We did it like,
I don't know,
what, 25 episodes in before we jumped over to the radio thing. So.
You know when like something becomes part of a title and you're just like, oh, fuck, I was supposed to drop that shit.
Yeah. So it is Terrible Reception Radio Show.
Yes.
If you're listening to this on Power 98.5 Radio.
This is
app,
a powerful quality radio show.
Yes. Morning show. So we're competing with Elvis Duran's of the world.
Yes.
Shout out to Elvis Duran. I'm not going to mention the other one because I ain't trying to piss off Steve.
If you guys are the morning zoo, we are the morning jungle.
Oh, I like that. I kind of like that. We'll revisit that.
Okay.
But if you are listening to on Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, it is the podcast version of the radio show. Know what I'm saying? To clarify that. But anyway, now that we're here, go on YouTube if you're not there just yet. Even if that's not your platform of choice, your streaming service of choice, go on there. Subscribe to the channel because we also drop music videos here and there. We're going to try to get some done. I know this is going to delay it probably, but we're going to try to work on dropping at least 2 music videos before the fall. So you get notifications, turn on that bell notification, leave a comment, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, follow the Spotify channel, the music page, podcast page, 2 separate entities. Make sure you follow both. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Also, I promote it here for a reason. One Eye Photography, Benatton Music.
If you need those edits, remember, set up a light inside your house. Take an iPhone photo.
And we'll take care of the
We'll
rest.
edit for you guys. So,
with that
being
said,
let's hit him in the intro with
and
the outro. One.
All right. I'll tell you the truth.
Can you hear it?
We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5.